Let's start off with the three-teamer that we had that broke a couple days ago, which is the Cleveland Cavaliers are trading DeAndre Hunter to the Sacramento Kings for Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. A third team is in the deal. That is the Chicago Bulls acquiring Dario Saric for 2 future second-round picks. Now, this is a very minuscule trade in the grand scheme of the NBA season, but it's worth talking about, right? A team, the Cavs, that are trying to compete and trying to win now, just traded a guy they traded for last offseason, and they thought that guy was going to come in and kind of make things look good. Now, when he did end up in the Cleveland Cavaliers, even though they started to fall off a little bit after he was acquired last year, he individually lived up to it last season. This season, that man was let's just use the word struggling. Let's be nice. He was really struggling out there. And there was rumors that DeAndre Hunter had formally requested a trade. I wonder if he regrets doing that, because they sent his ass to Sacramento, which is like, it's a couple different places in the NBA that's like NBA hell for players, and Sacramento is one of those places. My Bulls is also another one of those places. But I really do like this trade for the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is really important. For a long time, we've liked Keon Ellis, right? For the last couple seasons, we've liked Keon Ellis, but like his last two coaches, Doug Christie and Mike Brown, there was times where he was fully in the rotation and sometimes fully starting. He looked good. There was other times he was getting like close to DMPs, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and 6 minutes. And the entirety of the NBA Twitterverse was telling us, we all agreed that like Keon Ellis is a real NBA player. Why is he not playing? Now he's going to a team that if you are a real NBA player and an impactful one, you will get PT. Like, sometimes I'll be thinking to myself, if everybody is agreeing on one opinion, then like, we might all be like, there's something that if everybody's seeing the same thing, that you could just argue that, you know, those two NBA coaches were wrong. But like, part of me is like, maybe we're wrong as the fans. Maybe something is happening with Keon. I don't know. But he's going to the Sacramento. He's going to the Cleveland Cavaliers, where he would have a lot of opportunity to play. And then Dennis Schroeder gets traded to like his 100th team. I'm happy for Dennis Schroeder that he signed his payday to go to Sacramento because he had been thrown around the league. But last time this year, when he was acquired by the Detroit Pistons, he was one of the reasons why the Detroit Pistons looked so good in the second half of the season. One of the reasons why that series versus the Knicks ended up being good. Having that secondary ball handler is really important for the Cleveland Cavaliers, because they lost Ty Jerome. I'm happy that Ty Jerome finally came back in their game the other night. They lost Ty Jerome, who was so big for their second unit. I was talking to some people in the NBA that was like, when they lost him, that was the players thought that was a huge miss by their front office, because usually when the starters go to the bench, it's an opportunity for the other team to get back into the game. And Ty Jerome's like, nah, I'm going to hold this down for us. And they lost that. And they acquired Lonzo Ball, and they were hoping that Lonzo could kind of help with the synergy as a jumbo connector, good passer, good three-point shooter. And Lonzo's having the worst year of his career. So now they bring in Dennis Schroeder, who can kind of be, let's say, Ty Jerome-esque. That's really cool. I can't wait to see it all unfold for the Cavs, because Keon is listed as 6'4". I don't know if he's actually 6'4". He's listed as 6'4". But I think that Kenny Atkinson throughout the last part of the season will experiment a bit when Darius Garland eventually comes back from his other toe injury, where he will have Darius Garland, he will have Donovan Mitchell, and he will have Keon Ellis all on the court together. I mean, he's kind of doing something similar like Sam Merrill, right? Sam Merrill plays a lot of the three, and those two guys aren't too dissimilar when it comes to size, but I can't wait to see if Keon Ellis can like really be about it. It's just kind of crazy how it works for the Sacramento Kings time and time again. They were asking for a full first-round pick for Keon Ellis, and Keon Ellis ended up being I don't use the word throw-in, but like from their perspective, kind of a throw-in so they can get off the Dennis Schroeder contract. That's nuts to me. This like, I think that there's a possibility that the Kings are going to do more movement, more trades before the trade deadline. So I'll reserve true judgment. But this doesn't feel like anything from their perspective. The Cavs, I feel like, got better today. I'll just say that full stop. I think the Cavs are better today than they were 2 days ago. But from the Kings' perspective, to not get any draft cap, if anything, they gave up some draft capital. One of the two picks that the Bulls acquired is a pick from the Kings. They gave up draft capital to get off of Dennis Schroeder and get rid of Keon Ellis, and brought in DeAndre Hunter, who's 28 years old, having a down season. But there's more seasons of DeAndre Hunter being solid than there are of DeAndre Hunter being good, right? Last year, he was good. The other years before that, he was solid. And I don't know. They needed more wings. Like, the Kings needed more wings. But right now, they're the worst team in the Western Conference. I don't think you should be thinking about anything for them now. Anything for them now. And, yeah, it's just not a good look for them to On the other side, the Chicago Bulls walk out as true winners. when I am so very candid and so very open and so very critical about the Chicago Bulls and they do things wrong. One of the things that I've hated about our front office is the mismanagement of assets and how they haven't been a team that will bring on bad salary. Or they haven't been a team that is okay with just getting into some trades for 2 second-round picks. Reality is these second-round picks are in 2028 and 2029, and it's like the worst of 4 different teams. This might be the 57th pick in the draft for all I know. I don't like that. It could be that. But I'm just so happy that we're moving around the edges, moving around the margins. Dario Saric at 31 years old is probably not an NBA player anymore. He's averaging 1 point per game on 16% shooting so far this season. He's not an NBA player anymore, but that's okay. He's an expiring deal. You got 2 future picks, and I think that there's a world, as long as Dario comes in and he's healthy. The Bulls just had a lineup the other night against the Miami Heat where the starting lineup was Patrick Williams, Matas Buzelis, Kevin Huerter, Ayo Dosunmu, and I'm forgetting another guard. They didn't have any Isaac Okoro. They didn't have a center the other night because Vooch was injured. Zach Collins was injured. Jalen Smith was injured, and Obrig is like a second-round pick. So they didn't have a center. So there might be a war where Dario actually gets like a couple minutes a game. I don't know.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.